plastic that could be recycled. And you can guess how much is the rate for China. China is better, for 30%. So there are many ways, but because the limitation of the technology and cost, we may not have so many good ways to do that. If we can find the original way that is consume less, or with all the people, residents to fight for the environment, that will be a better solution. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, contestant number 1. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is contestant number 2, Simone, and her speech is entitled, "To My Dear Future Pillars of Macau." Simone, you may have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Testing. To my dear future pillars of Macau, happy graduation. Teaching you has been my greatest honor ever. Sooner or later, perhaps after 10 to 15 years, you'll all become the future pillars of Macau. At this moment, I think we, teachers, are no longer there to give you any guidance. So for this reason, I would like to use this opportunity to remind you how to become a more solid and reliable pillars in the future. First of all, be responsible. Responsibilities take many forms. What I'm highlighting here is to admit your fault. I emphasize this because years ago, I caught 3 of you cheating in a test. To my surprise, being a brighter student though, what you did is try to evade your responsibilities. You ruined the evidence, tampered with witnesses, and you made up plausible excuses to defend. At last, I made you take your responsibilities and you hated me. But believe me, it is for your own good. In the future, good pillars should accept responsibilities. The next thing is, be far-sighted. Don't just rush for instant gratification. One sentence that I hate hearing from you the most was, "Is there any bonus mark?" Your mark is only a quantified way to show how well you master the knowledge. It doesn't mean anything that can't be directly shown on your mark sheet is useless. And so, even though I didn't give you any bonus mark, asking you to make notes yourself, to read an extra book, or to join a competition is clearly beneficial to your learning. Again, be far-sighted. Your mark is short-term, while your skill is long-term. I hope that you don't confuse the 2 concepts. Otherwise, the future Macau will be in chaos, as there will be nobody seeing the big picture. Last but not least, be hopeful. I know that some of you struggled a lot academically. At one point, you were so desperate to understand that you felt you would never amount to anything. But listen to me, you're not a failure. See, you're here, you did it. And I think on this graduation day, you should say thank you to yourself. Thanks yourself for not giving up. Thanks yourself for not giving up even when you didn't know when the success will come. Thanks yourself for being hopeful. I know it is painful to see yourself fail and fail again. Thanks yourself for being tough. You are such a resilient person, and how can such a resilient person be a failure? So remember, even though you didn't achieve high academically, keep your faith. The quality of resilience will definitely guarantee you a bright future. Boys and girls, the future is yours. After this graduation day, I'm okay that you forget who this person is. But I hope that the quality of being responsible, far-sighted, and hopeful have been deeply grown in your heart, as they are essential elements for future pillars. So boys and girls, this is the last lecture from your teacher. I hope that you all have a very beautiful life and enjoy your big day. Happy graduation. Thank you very much. I love you.
Thank you for your speech. Now let's welcome our question master to ask the question about your prepared speech.
On behalf of the audience and judges, we would like to also thank you for your speech. My question to you is, out of all the advice that you have just given, which one will you rank the most important, and why do you make this choice?
Okay, thank you for your question. According to the order of my speech, I put responsibilities as the first advice to my students. So I would consider being responsible is the most important thing for them. And I think responsibilities take many forms. Not only the form that I mentioned in my speech is to have the bravery to admit their fault. But I think responsibilities also take that you need to make good choice, and also you need to be reliable for everyone that is around you. And I think one important thing to cultivate their responsibilities is to assign them more roles in a class. Because, for example, if they are the class activity holder, they will try to think a lot of things. For example, like when and where to hold a class activity. And then during the process, they will know that every decision that they make will count. And then in this way, I hope that I can cultivate them responsibility. And I really hope that they can be a responsible citizen in the future. Thanks.
Thank you, Simone. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is contestant number 3, Shirley Chai, and her speech is entitled, "The Future of Macau is Something We Are Creating." Okay, Shirley, you may have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Testing.
Okay, if you're ready, you may begin.
Okay, I'm ready. Hello everyone, I'm Xiaoying. I'm a smart taxi. I'm a Macau brand, but made in Hengqin. It's my pleasure to serve you, sir. Where do you want to go? I'm going to Macau English speech contest. Okay, ready to go from Hengqin Port. The whole journey is 24 kilometers, but it's very quick. Don't worry. Okay, we're arrived. No, it's not the destination I want. Don't worry. The drone is flying over and it will pick you to the spot. Okay. Oh, I feel so sleepy. Wait a moment, I have coffee for you. Dun. Open the ceiling. Open the chair table. Oh, I can enjoy the coffee on the car. Yes, sure. You like tea, or milk? I can always satisfy you. Wow, pretty smart. Thank you. We are driving on an environmental-friendly brick road. We can charge power. We can charge power in 10 minutes. And in this environmental brick road, we can always enjoy the great view. Look, they are riding electric bicycle on the street. Oh, if you want to go to the Benya Hill, don't worry. Just step on the escalator on the slope. When you're standing on the slope, you can always find, from the top of the mountain, the view of Macau is awesome. Thanks for your guiding. Okay, we'll be arrived soon. Hello, my dear friends. In 2035, there will be no longer crude oil. Why? Because the law prohibits we can't use vehicles that which use crude oil. All we can use is clean energy, namely solar energy or electric energy. So I am the smart taxi, made in Hengqin, but use Macau brand. I will serve you in all around Macau. Dear friends, what do you like? Because in 2035, the Macau will be more environmental friendly and we will enjoy a green life. Scientists recognize that if we use more renewable energy, and the people can use more to create more green life in the near future. Do you want such a smart taxi? It's free and quick and smart. In 2035, the future is not we are just waiting. It's the life we are creating. It's not the world we just be patient and stand here and just keep waiting. We should just action. Because if we want think and act, we will create the life we want. So the life is not just stay there. Come on, we can use our energy to create something, to create new life, to create green life. That's the life in 2035. That's the life I expect. And you? Do you want to enjoy a green life in 2035? Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Now let's welcome the question master to ask the question about your prepared speech.
Thank you for your sharing. That's number 3. So if you were to offer the 2035 Macau government a piece of advice, what would it be?
Okay, thank you for your question. For me, just like I mentioned before, I want build a green life in Macau in 2035. So I would like the government can just take action to find some talents, can just create some clean energy used by vehicles. So we can just use the vehicles and very smart vehicles. And for me, I can just pass the car license before I failed twice. So if we can have this smart taxi or smart car, we cannot worry about our car skill will not be the road killer. So we can have the smart taxi lead and guide us to find and explore more beautiful views in Macau. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you, contestant number 3. You may leave the stage now.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is contestant number 4, Leung Yan Ting, and her speech is entitled Living as Aliens.
Testing. Thank you. Living as aliens. Human civilization has a record of 6,000 years, and the industrialization began in the 1800s. It seems like we're capable of changing, progressing, and evolving. But is such advancement warranted to grow incessantly? Are we guaranteed to perpetually enjoy the benefits of such development? Humans are disparate creatures on Earth. First of all, we are not as strong as animals, but we are gifted with intelligence. It is prominent that from the beginning, the existence of human beings tremendously relies on the Earth's resources. In simpler words, animals can live without us, but we definitely cannot live without them. In fact, they even have a better life without us. The American biologist E.O. Wilson once said, "If all humans were to disappear, the Earth would regenerate back to its prospered state of equilibrium that existed 10,000 years ago." However, if insects were to vanish, the environment would collapse into chaos. Since the Stone Age, cave dwellers had moved from place to place, pillaged all resources, and then moved to another area where nothing was left. It is prominent that our existence, let it be a piece of clothing or a car, tremendously depends on our Earth's resources. So you might ask, The world wasn't dying back then. Why is it now? The fact is, humanity has done nothing but continuously exploit without giving back. For example, we can never compensate the consequences of deforestation with our current efforts of planting trees. Furthermore, the deadly repercussions of global warming and excessive carbon emission are not promoted and discussed enough to create significant impact. If we're so much smarter than animals, why are we sabotaging our future? Sadly, destroying nature is an act of human selfishness and greed. Businessmen want to make a profit, and ordinary people, they just want to have a swift, convenient life over environmental protection. Destroying nature is an act of our selfishness and greed. Forcing our laws onto nature will only lead to our extinction. Now, it has come to the point where we can no longer take without nature destroying us too. Our desperate dependence on electricity and modern technology will be the very thing that breaks us. When the human civilization and population have instigated and improved this much, are we really able to return to our most primitive form and learn to live with nature primevally? We exist at the cost of natural destruction. But there's only this much we could do before our land deteriorates and dies. Being aliens here, we can never fully give back to nature. The least we could do is try to delay its destruction. Maybe our intelligence was given to us not only to compensate for our physical vulnerability, but to nullify the impacts of our existence on the planet. Being aliens here, is there really nothing we can do? We have long been subjugating the earth, and it is about time we live differently. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech. Now let's welcome our question master to ask the question about your prepared speech.
Thanks a lot for sharing contestant number 4. Which do you agree? Human beings are creating more fantasies, or human beings are creating more disasters?
Thank you for your question. Human beings are creating more diseases or more fantasies or disasters. I think to us, of course, we think that we create a lot of fantasies, but then this fantasy is based on the exploitation of our nature's resources. And it's actually unfair to all the species living here. It's because of our selfishness and greed that we created these so-called hypocritical fantasies. And I think it's really about time we start living eco-friendly and give back to nature, because with all those years of exploitation, our earth has to take a break. And that's why I would say that we are exploiting and creating more disasters than fantasies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, contestant number 4. You may leave the stage now. Our next speaker is contestant number 5, Boyi Chen, and her speech is entitled Dreamer's Disease. Okay, Boyi, you may have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, you may start.
Good afternoon. Let me introduce myself to you. My name is Boyi, and I'm now a teacher whose dream is not to teach. Let me share with you my story. I did education back in college, but my entire mindset and life changed when I was watching the concert of a young singer my age back then. I was mesmerized by her charm on the stage, and I saw the possibility of myself and her. I wanted to be like her, well, not to be a singer like her, but to shine like her. Shining because she was living her dream. And it was then that I realized that I wouldn't be like her, because teaching was not my dream. It was only a more achievable option I had as a kid. Well, don't get me wrong, I love my job. I love teaching. I've always loved English and I love expressing myself. So ideally, yes, teaching should be the best job for me in Macau. But no, after some thoughts and processing, I've come to realize that I actually want to be a writer, a full-time, professional English writer, which up until now still isn't exactly a proper occupation in Macau. Here in Macau, we are constantly exposed to the idea of dream, but we very seldom see people realizing that so-called unrealistic or unpractical dreams. Imagine saying out loud and proud in Macau that you want to be, let's say, a writer like me, or a pop star, or an archaeologist. What do you think people's first reaction would be? Well, my guess is that they'll be like, what's the use of? What is wrong with you? But this, I promise you, would change. I love asking my students about their dreams and their future plans. I've heard a lot of fun and creative answers. Some say they want to be a pop star. Some say a dancer, a choreographer. And some even say they want to be a paleontologist, like an archaeologist, but one who studies dinosaurs. Isn't that a funny and creative answer? And I want them to believe that all these could happen. But how? I get criticized a lot for encouraging this kind of false hopes, that according to some people, some dreams are doomed to fail. But no. Let's throw back to 10 years ago. Imagine saying that you want to be a director at that time. People around you will look at you with wide eyes like you've lost your mind. Look at today. Look at how successful that entertainment company, Manner, is. They are successful because they believed in themselves. They believed that even though there was no demand for their talent, they could create one. Therefore, I believe that so could the rest of us. As long as I'm teaching, I promise you, I will continue to breed more and more dreamers. And by 2035, Macau will be experiencing another pandemic. That will be the dreamer's disease. Thank you.
Thank you, Bowie. Let's welcome the question master to ask the question about your prepared speech.
Thank you for sharing contestant number 5. Some people believe that Macau is not offering enough diverse opportunities to young people like you. Do you agree? And why?
Thanks for your question. That is exactly the reason why I chose to explore this topic through this angle, because I totally agree with this question, with this argument. I think Macau is providing opportunities, actually a lot of opportunities to a lot of fields in this city, but not enough. Let's imagine you want to be an archaeologist, a writer, especially in the arts field. You would get this courage and think that you're doing some useless and things that won't make money. That's why I want to encourage my students to dream. It's a very simple economics principles. If there's enough demand, there will be enough supply and education courses provided to train more people like this. And Macau will be developing, but will no longer be a dying city with no dream. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 5. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is contestant number 6, Billy, and his speech is entitled, "Living peacefully with Mother Nature is the only right way to live." Billy, you may have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Testing.
Okay. Once you're ready, you may start.
Living peacefully with Mother Nature is the only right way to live. Wildfire raging across acres after acres of forest, swallowing every single living creature on its way, leaving behind absolutely nothing but animal corpses and ashes. What does it sound like? Extreme heat waves steaming on our land, sweating up the entire nation, turning our city into huge ovens. What does it sound like? Extreme weather conditions happening in unprecedented, peculiar successions. Hurricanes, floods, sandstorms, blizzards. What does it sound like? The sound is the crying of our Mother Nature. It's her weeping. It's her crying, screaming for help. Ever since the Second Industrial Revolution, the technological development of humankind has went on a completely unstoppable rampage to take us on a road that can never be returned. We've come so far. We've built metal bird that flies in the sky, flying from continents to continents. We've built fast car that even the strongest horse would be no match with its power. We've built tank of steel that travels from oceans to oceans like the wave is nothing. We've become so powerful, but at what cost, I would like to ask. We've taken for granted the resources, the natural resources of Earth for too many years without knowing that it's damaging the planet that we live in. Now, let's take a moment to think. When we talk about the future of our planet, the future of Earth, what picture is in your head? Do you still see this perfectly blue, gorgeous marble that shelter life from the darkness and loneliness in the cosmos? Or do you see a planet with only destructions? Luckily, the most intriguing and fascinating thing about the future is that it's changeable. And our chances with our future is not like the chances we have in lottery. We pick our favorite numbers, our lucky numbers, we pay for the ticket, cross our fingers, and pay for the best things to happen. And there's nothing more we can do about it. But in terms of future, it's changeable. We can actually do things to improve our future, to alter the inevitable destruction that is going to happen to our planet. And so, I would like to suggest here that actually, a part of the future of planets is actually sitting now here in this room with me. And that's us, me and you, everyone sitting here. We are part of the future of our planet. And it's only the right way for we to realize that only us are the ones who are capable to change what's going to happen, that we are not doomed to total destruction. I would like to share a saying, and the saying goes, we do not inherit the planet from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. So to paint a better tomorrow for our kids, for the younger generation, it is the only right thing that we live peacefully with Mother Nature instead of only taking from her. We have to start to give back. We have to start to stop the destruction, the transition to clean energy, the stop of using fossil fuel. In the end of the day, the message is very simple. The future is all up to us. And the future is now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, contestant number 6. Now let's welcome our question master to ask a question about your prepared speech.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing a lot of environmental ways with us, contestant number 7. Do you think the world could be better if some actions had been done 100 years ago?
Thank you for the question. I think this is a very interesting question. But I think I would say no, because as our technology is so advanced right now, the efficiency, if we take some actions in the past, it would not be as effective as those we take in presently. Because we now have for example, far better and far advanced technology than the people 100 years ago have. We have electric cars. We have the power of solar energy, clean energy, wind, solar power, tidal power. And it is for us that come all the long way at this point to use this advanced technology instead of to the greed of humankind, but to give back to the planet. And at the moment, we are the most capable generation that are able to fix this problem instead of the people 100 years ago with still not an technology level as good as us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, contestant number 6. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is contestant number 7, Nicole Yeung, and her speech is entitled Nature for All Species. Okay, Nicole, you may have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Testing. Okay.
Once you're ready, okay, you may start.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I'm a Portuguese major in university. A bit of serendipity, I made a Brazilian friend 2 years ago, with whom I had a stimulating conversation on almost any topics. The other day, when we were talking about the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, he showed me a few photos of the animals that he has seen there, many of which I admitted I couldn't name. It's natural because you live in a more urban city, he said. Also, the number of these animals has been diminishing these years, he added in an apprehensive tone. He doesn't consider himself an environmentalist, but he's just so frequently exposed to the nature that he has this strong bond with the animals. Having recognized my lack of knowledge on this topic, he recommended me a short animated film, which I found intriguing. In the film, the director is applying the role reversal of humans and animals. Now close your eyes and imagine this. Coffee shops, supermarkets, and offices are crowded by various kinds of animals. Bears, sharks, eagles, except humans. You, a human, live in a forest. Unable to find much food nearby, you and your fellows are so starving they almost look like skeletons. You see your friends fall in front of you, one after another, after consuming the toxic food in the lake. Your relatives, who live in the Arctic, are sitting on the big ice, which is gradually melting and will eventually disappear. Your lover, who lives in water, is entangled in plastic and suffocates to death. And finally, you, despite having tried hard to escape from the bulldozer that the gorilla is operating, still get crushed relentlessly. After hundreds of years, your running figure is exhibited in the museum with the name tag Homo sapiens in the extinct animal section. Such a scenario is something that I had never imagined. The shift of subject to these consequences of pollution, deforestation, global warming, worked as a warning to us, the selfish human beings. For a very long time, I had been aware of this animal extinction crisis. But it was not until that I actually placed myself in their shoes that I realized how serious and real it is. Every time we use plastic bags, produce toxic substances, cut down trees, we're improving our life quality at the expense of the well-being of the other species on this planet. But we don't seem to be aware of that. Concluding with a quote from a Brazilian friend, to coexist peacefully with other species should be an everlasting goal of humanity. Because nature is, after all, home to all species. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nicole. Now let's welcome our question master to ask the question about your prepared speech.
Thank you very much for your speech, contestant number 7. So what is the role of young people like you in nature?
Thank you for your question. So, when we think of the role of young people in terms of nature or environment protection, I believe that education is the most important part, because every day we are in school or in university, and we receive various kinds of knowledge, but many of them are theoretical instead of practical. But we sometimes need to receive more knowledge in terms of how do we practically can protect the environment by our actions. You know, many people don't believe that, especially youngsters, Gen Zers, don't believe that our actions are useful to help the environment, but that's just not true. And in my opinion, we can start from, for example, waste segregation, and just recycle old objects, etc. And these kind of things, I think that can help provide the protect the environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nicole. Our next speaker is contestant number 8, Ivan C. And his speech is entitled, Macau's Youth in 2035. So Ivan, you may have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself. Once you're ready, you may start. Okay, you may begin.
Hi, I'm Ivan. I'm a high school teacher. I once asked my students to compare youth to a body part. Some say youth is as bright as the eyes. The others said youth is like a mouth because there is a lot of laughing and crying. In my opinion, youth is like our hair. We don't miss it until we start losing it. Now, just as I'm losing my hair and my youth, my students will be the prime of their youth in 2035. And 2035 is also the year the central government has set for accessing our 4 major industries: high-tech manufacturing, Chinese medicine, tourism and trade, and modern finance. Now, I'm too old to get started over and get involved in 4 industries, but I can tell our youth is really ready for it. Today, I'll try to tell 2 stories about what I observed in my school and on the news. The first story is on a news item. That's about a 9th grade boy who has developed a doorbell for the hearing impaired. Now the doorbell works with lights and vibrations so that the deaf people can notice it. Now, he's still developing the product, so he plans to use this technique in the watch. So in 2035, maybe there will be a Macau watch which can translate different types of sounds into unique vibrations. Now I know that this is a super unusual case for a Macau teenager. That's not the normal, the average teenager we met in our daily lives. But I believe that every teenager of us have a dream. But the difference is whether they found a way to pursue it or not. So that's why I'll tell you my second story. Second story is about a 10th grade boy in my career planning class. Okay, I teach career planning and Chinese in my school. And once when we were talking about skill development, I asked him whether now he aspires to become a Chinese medicine practitioner in future. But when we were talking about skill development, I asked him whether he had thought about sharpening his English or Portuguese as well. Then he was quite surprised and asked, all the Chinese medicine classes were written in Chinese. Then what's sharpening English for? Then I told him that actually Macau is set to become an exchange platform with Portuguese-speaking countries about Chinese medicine. So if he can speak fluently with foreigners, then he can promote Chinese medicine products or even the culture to them. So since then, now, besides reading Chinese medicine books, he also is engaged in talking with a Brazilian teacher. I'm not sure if I influenced him or whether it's just because she's an elegant lady. I cannot tell which is the factor that made him talk to that lady, teacher. Now, I still have time, right? Okay, so this is two stories I have noticed in my life. I think this is just our youth is about in 2035. Now, Macau's future may be unpredictable, but Macau's youth is right here with us. Just as Franklin Roosevelt once said, we cannot always build a future for our youth, but we can build our youth for future. So let's build our youth so that they can fit in the 4 major industries so we can embrace a more diversified Macau in 2035. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Now let's welcome our question master to ask the question about your prepared speech.
Thank you very much, contestant number 8, and I agree with your last piece of statement about supporting the youth. So in order to advocate our future youth to contribute more to the Macau society in 2035, what could you as a young role model do now?
Me as a model. I'm too short to be a model, first of all. And I think as a teacher, what we serve is trying to become an example for youngsters. That's what I'm trying to become as well. But I'm always frustrated in trying to do so. What I'm trying is, first of all, sharpen my skill in my profession. I'm a Chinese teacher, so every day I will read books related to the Chinese literature. And second, try to get along with my peers, because in my school, there's a lot of outstanding teenagers who are so sharp and bright, but they may get a little bit proud because of their achievement. So I try to be a person that can get along with my peers, that they may learn from me if they want to, that we can also get along with people even though we can do ourselves to be a better person. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ivan. Our next speaker is contestant number 9, Ida Vong, and her speech is entitled, Dear Diary. Ida, you may have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Testing. Dear Diary, today is a sunny day. After 12 years, my niece, she's back to Macau. We start our day with wonton noodles and durian egg tart. Macau is a food paradise. You can always find a variety of delicacies and snacks around you. After that, we went to the Macanese Food Museum. I guess we took 100 photos with that galinha, the Portuguese chicken mascot that my niece really liked it. And what I liked the most, of course, is the food tasting, which is free. After that, we went to the new urban zone. By the time my niece left Macau, that area was just sand and water. But right now, there is a huge green space with parks, gardens, and even a small urban forest. We had our lunch at a Chinese garden, where we can pick some fresh Chinese medicinal herbs and use them for cooking at the Qingling kitchen next door. It's just amazing. After that, we took a walk around that green zone. We even see 2 groups of students. They were observing bugs at the park. It's good. I guess they're taking their green education course. And talking about green, Macau is a green city. After the Sustainable Development Blueprint was released 5 years ago, all new buildings in Macau need to be certificate green. And the household waste was charged, and even the number of cars in Macau will reduce significantly. After all, we all experienced the big flood in Macau in the last decade. We know that no one is safe from the climate crisis. Striving for sustainability is the only way for every one of us in Macau. After that, we took the light rail transit to the Koloan. And to my surprise, it's actually my niece's first time to take this LRT. She was surprised when I tell her that this thing could bring her to Guangzhou in less than an hour. She was even more surprised when she see the Parisian was now a Shanghai niece. And she was also surprised when I tell her that there is a Hello Kitty land to be built in Macau next year. How dynamic it is. Macau is a dynamic city. We try our best into diversifying our economy, especially after the last pandemic hit us. Macau, under the Tourism Plus Industrial Mode, Right now, we have the most exclusive medical resort in Macau and the first ever casino which is operated by robots only. We also have the annual Metaverse Formula One contest. Macau is so much fun. Macau is also famous for its colorful celebrations and elaborate parade. We were so lucky that by the time we arrived in Koloan, there was a dragon and also lion dance show. We then took a walk around and went to the Startup Village where my niece is going to work there before going back home. Home, Macau is home. Time flies, but not memories. My niece, she still remembers the time that she was in Macau. She still remembers how bad the travel was in Macau or how slippery the cobblestone street could be after rain. She also remembers the mornings that we spent together when we were taking a walk around the Lam Wan Lake. She also remembers the lady working in Zhuge, who is currently, to her surprise, a grandma of 2 lovely grandkids. I really, really hope that my niece, she will like and also get used to her new life in Macau. Macau is a food paradise. Macau is a dynamic city. Macau is a green city. And Macau is home. Diary uploaded. Thank you.
Thank you, Ida. Now let's welcome our question master to ask the question about your prepared speech.
Thank you for sharing your diary with us, contestant number 9. What is the next page you write in your diary about Macau?
Thank you for your question. So for this diary, I talk about how Macau will transform in the future. And if there is a next page that I'm going to write, I will put more focus on Macau, how to turn it into a sustainable city. Because currently, we are seeing a lot of problems happening on Earth, either in Macau or in a global level. For example, in Macau, we are seeing billions, tons of food waste generating every day from the restaurant or from our household. We can see that all our rubbish are not properly treated after we just dump it in the rubbish bin. So if I'm seeing the future in Macau, I'm hoping our government and also all as a citizen will have some action to take more concrete action to be more sustainable. We think of the impact that we are doing to our nature, to our earth, not just to think, but take actions, either a small step. That is the thing that I'm expecting in the future of Macau. That is also the next page that I'm going to write about Macau, about every people in Macau. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 9. Our last speaker is Cora Lau, and her speech is entitled, The Nature Within Me. Cora, you may have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Okay. Testing. Okay.
Once you're ready, you may start.
Okay. In Darwin's research on the human evolution, he proposed that humans evolved from the instincts of animals, and that we, our biological organisms, resulted from the process of natural selection. Hence, I believe we can infer from this that the human existence has been interconnected with nature ever since the beginning of our evolutionary process. During the prehistoric period, humans had to survive the changing climates, hunt for food, defeat life-threatening predators, and overcome numerous hardships to live. Those that survived were humans that knew how to adapt to the environment, learn how to read the weather, and differentiate poisonous food from edible ones. It is without a doubt that humans during the prehistoric period knew how to respect and assimilate with the natural environment as a part of the chain of nature. Our evolvement was the fruit of nature's process, and our existence also plays a critical role in this circle of life. In the present period, mass production and overconsumption have greatly altered the relationship between humans and nature. From a time where humans had to intermingle with nature, it has now become an era of surplus and waste. We humans are now the ones who chop down astronomical amounts of trees, butcher millions of animals, and dispose millions of tons of trash. Unlike the past, we now seek to dominate nature and use it for selfish reasons. We kill and we plunder with disregard towards nature's limits. Just the past century alone, more than 500 species of animals have gone extinct, and we humans have played a major role in it. However, this is all the more reason for us to listen to nature's laments and change our ways of living. Humans' destruction of the environment is only going to conclude with the extinction of human beings ourselves. The depletion of plants, animals, and natural resources also means the deprivation of oxygen, food, and energy. No matter how much we develop with the help of our inventions and technology, we can never truly detach ourselves from the cradle of nature. I've always believed that humans have an innate connection with nature. And surely our evolution is proof of that. So let me implore you to look around, see the beauty of nature, and take up our role to protect this planet that we live in, as we should. Thank you.
Thank you, Cora. Now let's welcome our question master to ask the question about prepared speech.
Thank you for your speech, contest number 10. In your speech, you mentioned a lot of destruction human beings have produced to nature. Can you give us some examples that human beings are bringing benefits to our nature?
Okay. So I'm sure that my speech sounded very bleak, very dreary. It pretty much described the amount of destruction that humans have brought upon nature. And I believe in recent years, humans have more awareness towards this problem. What we're doing now is we are now trying to put more energy and also put more effort into the production of natural resources or the usage of renewable energy, such as solar energy and wind energy, wind power. In the Hengqin, the town next to us, they have also been using wind power and solar energy for some of their resources. And regarding the world, many actions have been done to protect animals from extinction. And so I believe these are things that humans have been doing recently in order to protect the environment. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 10. Thank you very much. So we have already completed our first and second section, and we'll now take a very short break. The third section will resume at 4 o'clock. Okay, at 4 o'clock. Thank you very much. Okay, our last section will resume soon. Please be seated. Okay, welcome back to the third section of the final round of Macau Youth English Speech Contest 2022. In this section, contestants are required to enter the preparation room 5 minutes before going on stage. And they have to draw a pair of keywords and use it as the theme of their 2-minute impromptu speech. And now, let's welcome contestant number 1, Cora Lau. And her keywords are critical thinking and decision making. Okay, Cora, you may have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Testing. Hello. Hi. Go, a bit higher. Okay. Testing. Okay.
You may begin now.
Whenever I go to a coffee shop and I see the cheesecake and the chocolate cake, I would sometimes make the decision to buy both, even though I cannot finish all of them. And so in this case, what is critical thinking and what is decision making? So for critical thinking, it's our ability to analyze a situation, a problem, a phenomena through multiple different perspectives. And what is decision making? A decision is made whenever we are in a crossroad or a dilemma, and we need a decision to decide which path we're going to take. And in my case, I have surely made a bad decision with no critical thinking when I saw the 2 pieces of cake and bought them both with passion. So ultimately, what is critical thinking to decision making? Critical thinking makes me realize the importance of leaving the chocolate cake for tomorrow, or maybe the next week, and give me a better outcome, because I can prevent myself from making bad decisions. And therefore, I believe it is very important for all of us to use critical thinking whenever we're trying to do decision making. Because whenever you are in a problem or in a crossroads of your life, this type of critical thinking is something that can actually save your life, or maybe even change your own destiny and also your decisions. So therefore, I hope all of you, whenever you pass by a coffee shop, please make sure to have critical thinking before you make any purchase. Thank you.
Thank you, Cora. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is contestant number 2, Boyi Chen, and her keywords are plagiarism and reference. Okay, Bowie, you have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Okay.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. My keywords are plagiarism and reference. Throughout my entire life, I've been closely related to these two words. I was an art student who took literature in my high school, and I had to write a lot of essays. And I'm now currently a teacher who have to review a lot of works by students to see whether they have copied some other people's ideas. And as I've just said in my prepared speech, I want to be a writer, which is very important whether I plagiarize or copy other people's ideas. The biggest difference between plagiarism and reference is that for plagiarism, you're taking other people's ideas and claiming it your own, which is very unfair to that original creator and hurting the industry. I personally think that the problem is the most serious now in the fashion industry. For different fast fashion brands and all the other little small individual brands, they are plagiarizing other big brands or other people's works and claiming it their own. And I think there is now very weak laws concerning this problem. People are often walking on that blurry line between plagiarism and reference. I think people's misunderstanding about originality is the reason why people are walking on that blurry line. I don't think many of us are completely original about something. We are often affected throughout our entire life about how we see something, about how we think about something. It is, therefore, important not to copy. You can take reference of other people's ideas, but don't claim it your own. That original creator has used a lot of effort and time to make a work that a lot of people appreciate. So stop hurting others and stop being an original creator yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Bowie. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is contestant number 3, Shirley Chai, and her keywords are today and present. Okay, Shirley, you have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Okay, thank you. Testing.
Okay, you may begin.
Okay, thank you. Did you enjoy your breakfast today? Yes, I have. But long ago, I never ate breakfast. I always think, brunch is enough for me. I can just save one breakfast. But today, I think health is necessary instead of accessory. When I was a child, I never ate breakfast. I think health is very easy to get. It's just like the accessory. For example, the clothes. We can just take off the clothes easily and put on easily. So I think health is not nothing. But now, I think health is not accessory. It's necessary. When I have stomachache, oh my God. If you don't eat breakfast, will you have a stomachache? When I grow up, I think health is important for us. I set the clock. Oh, every day at 8 o'clock I need to eat the breakfast. It's for my health, it's for my body. I always think, I'm strong, I'm healthy, I'm young. Nothing will defeat us. But I'm wrong. Stomachache makes me annoying, make me nervous. Stomachache almost kill us. Today, I ate the breakfast first, so I have energy. I have energy to stand here to give a speech. Today, I ate the breakfast. I think the health is very important. It's necessary, not necessary. We should cherish every moment. We should cherish our body, cherish every present. Just like health is a good friend. Listen to the doctor, and get a healthy body. And we will give our life to all of the people who love us. And we can love everybody and tell them, did you eat the breakfast today? Thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is contestant number 4, Ida Wong. And her keywords are lie and life. Okay, Ida, you may have 15 seconds to check the setting.
Testing.
You may begin.
What if your whole life is a lie? Truman Show is one of my favorite movies. It talks about Truman, a happy man. He got a lovely family and a job that he's satisfied with. But one day, he found out that his whole life is a lie. From the very first day that he was born, to the day he went to school, met his first friend, everything was under the camera. He was sued, a live show broadcast throughout the world. Every people he met, everything happened to him was a big lie. The last scene of that movie was Truman wanted to step out from the giant studio. He wanted to go out, but what happened after? The director didn't say it and left us a lot of imagination. What if I were Truman? What should I do? I guess I would choose the latter one. I would step up and also to face the real life outside. Even though it's daunting, it can be unpredictable. But that is the real meaning of life. Life is not always sunshine and roses. There are uphills and downhills. The seasons keep changing. People entering and also living your life. But if you don't face the real life, if you don't face the real challenges ahead, and you are just hiding behind all those lies, all those fancy ideas, that is not the real meaning of life. Life is worthwhile once you really experience it, even though there will be happy moments and also sad moments. But that's the true meaning of life. So how about you? If you got a chance to choose, will you be Truman to stay in his fancy life, or would you choose to step out to face those unpredictabilities of life and to experience it wholly? Thank you.
Thank you, Ida. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is contestant number 5, Billy, and his keywords are development and improvement. Okay, Billy, you have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Testing. Okay.
Okay, you may start.
So, hi everyone. And the two words I have in my hand is the word development and the word improvement. So, I think as a human being, these two words are very important to us. This development and improvement might be two very similar concepts, but actually they're different. So, allow me to explain. From the day we are born, the development of our cells starts, no matter is it physical or is it mental. The mind and our body develops, but not necessarily improves. But in the process of us growing up, growing into adults, from kids to adults, from adults to old people, in this period of time, we are to improve what we do, no matter is it our speech, our skill set. And these two concepts sometimes is very important to our personal development and also our personal improvement. We often make improvement when we make mistakes. And mistakes is a very natural part of human nature. We all make mistakes. But in the end of the day, we all need to improve ourselves. And so to develop ourselves as a human being with all the essential things that a human being have, kindness, patience, and all the other things that people look up to us. So I think this two word can be a very powerful tool for everyone to use. If you want to have a better development, you have to make improvements in your life, no matter it is your work, academically speaking, your study, or the relationship between your family. If you make improvements from your previous mistakes, then you can have a good development with your family, with your friends, and establish long-term healthy relationship with the people around you and with your life and with yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you for your speech. Our next speaker is contestant number 6, Ivan Seed. And his keywords are work from home and work at workplace. So Ivan, you have 15 seconds to check the setting.
Hello.
Okay, you may start.
Okay, hi again. So as you know, I'm a teacher. I have experienced both working at home and working at my school. So today I'll try to tell both and then which one I prefer. Okay, so normally I work at school, right? In my school, it's quite special. Actually, we don't need to stay there for the whole day. When we go there, we have classes. So even when I work at school, I can stay at home a lot of time. I just need to go for 1 or 2 hours every day. So I pretty enjoyed it. And the second point, when I work at a workplace, work at home, that means when I is restricted by COVID-19 and cannot go out to school, right? So what do we do? Actually, even in summer, I'm working from home because we have a lot of work. Please don't think teachers only work in school day. No, they don't. Like today, I still just finished some proofreading work. We are preparing to have a new set of school books, and we are doing proofreading. Okay, but in school day, when we do work from home, which means we are under COVID, right? So what we do is having online classes. We can't see their face. We won't have responses. We just keep speaking by ourselves. So ask me which one I prefer. You have the answer. I want to work at school. At least you get to ask your students questions. You get the response. You know what they're doing. When I was working at home, I even don't know if they were listening or not. I even don't know whether they were there or not, because it's always a black screen. So ask me 100 times, I would say I prefer working at school. And also, when we work at school, that means there's no COVID. When we work at home, that means many people aren't even working. They can't go to work because of COVID. So again, work at school. That's for my own sake, for everybody's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is contestant number 7, Aragon Fong, and his speech about food guilt and binge eating. Okay, you have 15 seconds to check the setting and prepare yourself.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you.
Okay, you may start.
When I was in university, I always had the buffet with my friends. And the buffet opened at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we arrived in 10 o'clock and it closed at 2 p.m. Then we left at 2 p.m. We are the first customer to get into the restaurant, but the last to go out the restaurant. So we are so happy because at that time only take 30 RMB. Then we can enjoy the whole morning. We are so satisfied with that. And I'm so curious why they will not close down, because there are some guys like us eating the whole morning. But when I'm getting old, at this age, I start to know why. Because not everybody like the young, maybe 20 years old young people, we may not have a very good digestion. And it will be harmful for us, our health. For example, when I work now, I have the buffet with my colleagues. Every time I don't dare to have too much of the food because I know that in the night I will suffer from the food in my stomach. So it's very difficult for me to eat more again. Why we should have the binge eating? I think it's very easy to think because we have the healthy and we have a friend to communicate with them. But if we are not have the healthy, besides the healthy, with the natural, it will be more natural to not have that food. Just have the food that we are in love and keep ourselves healthy. I think that's the most important message. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech. Our next speaker is contestant number 8, Nicole Yeung, and her keywords are famous and infamous. Okay, Nicole, you have 15 seconds to check the setting.
Okay, thank you. Testing.
You may begin.
Famous and infamous, a pair of antonyms, right? Because usually we put in or this in front of a word, in front of an adjective to put it, turn it into an opposite meaning. But infamous is kind of more than that. I used to think infamous means not gaining fame, and that's all. But in high school, my English teacher corrected me this. Well, I'll tell you a story. When I was in high school, there was a bully, a fierce bully, who kind of did evil things to his classmates. And we might say he was kind of naive to do this because he was still young, right? And I remember in English classes, we did a lot of homework of sentence making. And so infamous is one of the vocabulary that I learned back then. So I was like, oh, I was trying to make a sentence more beautiful. Like he was infamous for playing, doing drugs or eating drugs, something like that. And I was thinking that word meant not gaining fame. But my English teacher, who later corrected me by putting me in a contest, she said, oh, look at the bully in our school. He is infamous for being playful with his classmates, for his evil things with his classmates. And this is the real meaning of infamous. And I was like, oh, I see. And she added, infamous is not just not gaining fame, like as I thought, but we are actually putting shame in that person. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nicole. Thank you for your speech. Our next speaker is contestant number 9, Simone, and her keywords are pleasure and pleasure. So please test the microphone.
Testing.
Okay, you may start.
Being an English teacher, I need to teach my students pronunciation. And this pair of words, pleasure and pressure, are the most confusing words for my student. And I start to think, is this pair of words really that confusing? And my answer to this is yes, because in the reality, pleasure and pressure always come together. So let me share with you my story. I learned ballet since I was 5 years old. And at that time, my belief is, if I can learn ballet, the only thing that in my mind will be pleasure. I didn't think that actually pressure will come until my teacher assigned me the role Cinderella in the Cinderella ballet show. Yes, it was the leading actor in a ballet show, and at that time, I need to spend almost 8 hours a day to practice, and 5 days a week to practice. And when I look at the eyes of my teachers, and when I look at the eyes of my fellows, I can tell that they are having a lot of anticipation on me. And at that time, I started to feel pressured. But in the end, owing to their support, the show went very smoothly and I gained applause from the audience. So throughout this experience, one thing that I learned is that pressure and pleasure, they always come together. If you want to enjoy something, during the process, there must be difficulties, and we need to overcome all the difficulties that we face. So I will end my speech with one sentence that my secondary school teacher taught me. Stressed, S-T-R-E-S-S-E-D. But if we pronounce it on the other way, it will become dessert, something that is pleasurable. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. Thank you for your speech. Our last speaker is contestant number 10, Leung Yan Ting, and her keywords are aptitude and altitude.
Testing. Thank you. I believe a lot of you would instantly think of career success and academic success when you hear the words attitude and altitude. We always hear the higher the attitude, the better the attitude, the higher the altitude. But I would like us to think of these words in a more spiritual and humanistic way. Can I ask you a question? Who thinks that I will be married soon, or maybe in 10 years' time? I can see my parents there, oh thank you, nodding their heads. Your reaction is exactly what I had anticipated. How marriage is portrayed in popular culture has led one to deduce that ending up at the altar with a man is the ultimate female desire. Even I was framed by this mindset once. Who said we have to be married in order to achieve eternal happiness? Why can't we be inspiring, pioneering individuals capable of chasing one's dreams, just like what I'm doing now? I believe with all of us working together in changing this attitude of gender prejudices and gender inequalities, Macau will become a place full of more love, compassion, and acceptance. And it is definitely something that we have to work on to achieve gender inequality. It is also time that we acknowledge male domestic violence victims and also those who are prejudiced against. And this is a new spectrum of how I want you all to link these words with. Thank you.
Thank you, Yan Ting. Thank you very much. So this is already the end of the third section. I can surely feel the excitement and tension of the contest, and it should take the judges a while to score. So now we are going to take another 15-minute break. In the time being, let's vote for the Best Popularity Award. Now you will see a QR code shown on the screen, so please use your device to scan the QR code and you can make a vote to a maximum of 2 contestants. The vote will end in 3 minutes. Okay, I repeat, the vote will end in 3 minutes. So it's action time. Let's support your favorite contestant. Okay, a reminder for all of you, the Best Popularity Award voting will end in 30 seconds. So if you haven't voted, please scan the QR code and vote to support your favorite contestants. Okay, thank you all for voting. Now we will close the system for voting. Thank you.
似係黃任助理同陳騰，趙超係應該係，總之第七張中間呢兩個認住佢。
everybody, welcome back. We are ready for the award ceremony of the Macau Youth English Speech Contest 2022. We are here today not just to celebrate the achievements of our contestants, but also to promote English teaching and communication, explore excellent English-speaking talents in Macau. We were really amazed by the energy, enthusiasm, and the feedback from the public. I believe that in the future, there will be a group of excellent speakers sharing Macau stories with the world. Before the ceremony, we would like to have our honorable judges share their comments on the performance. So shall we begin with Ms. Gabriella?
Hi everyone, I'm Gabriella. I'm one of the judges today. Let me briefly introduce myself. I am an English lecturer at IFTM, and it's my great honor to be here today, and all of the contestants performed really well. So I would like to invite you to give a big round of applause to all of the contestants today first. Great job, everyone. So I really don't have any criticism, to be honest. I just have a very positive comments to every one of you. First, I heard a lot of inspiring speeches today, especially the one that about the critical thinking one. I'm sure that you still remember the one to compare two cakes, whether you buy one or two together, and especially the one that talk about attitude or altitude, and a lot of inspiring speeches. So thank you all for inspiring me and all of the judges today as well. The only thing that I think that I would like to give a bit of comments to it is some of the contestants, maybe you're just nervous, the pace is a bit too fast, so it makes it not really easy to understand and try to get the real message from the speeches. So in your future speech, I think this is something that you guys can pay more attention to, but other than that, awesome, great job everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Gabriella. So now let's have Ms. Miranda to share her comments.
Hi everyone, my name is Miranda. I'm one of the judges today, and I work at the University of Macau English Language Center. It is my great honor and great pleasure to watch this performance today, and every one of you did a great job. Good job, guys. I'm very inspired and I'm very encouraged to see this English speaking context, and everyone are motivated to do the best they can to prevent not only the skillful that you guys show, but also the content and the ideas that you bring in, and to inspire us to think as well. And I like the content that you guys delivered inspires to take a look at our future, as not only as human beings, but also as Macau, like youth in Macau, right? Inspire us to reflect on our own lifestyles, what else we can do, and how can we unite together and to give a promising future for our next generations. These are great content, and I listened to, I learned a lot myself. And one thing I wanted to comment on is the impromptu speech. Actually, I'm surprised with this limited time that you guys have for preparation. You come up with great ideas, and even some of them very deep and inspiring, and very authentic as well. I'm pleasure to see that you use your personal experience to engage all your audience. It is great. And one more thing I just want to say is that for prepared speech, I would like to suggest when you guys prepare in the future, I understand you have a lot of ideas to say, but sometimes it's hard for us to understand your ideas without any explanation or specific examples. So support your ideas with better examples or experience or explanations, so that we will engage with you more in the future. Great job, guys.
Thank you, Ms. Miranda. Thank you. Last but not least, let's hear from Ms. Millie Zhong.
Hi everyone, my name is Millie Chong, and I'm the two-time president of the Macau Toastmasters Club, which is an English public speaking club in Macau. And this is the second time I'm invited to be the judge. I'm very honored, and I'm also very pleased to see the standards of the contestants are getting higher and higher, as well as the demand for judging. So please give a round of applause to the contestants and the organizing committee. Yeah, great job. So you can see that the topics are not easy topics, and all the contestants have done in-depth research and also expressed their personal thoughts and even give out their suggestions. And you can see that they use statistics, quotes, and facts to support their ideas. And like I said, some of them even give their advice, which are very good. And also, one of the contestants used appropriate props. Now, it will also generate more vivid presentation. Notice I use the word appropriate. It doesn't mean that all the props can give you extra scores, but you have to use appropriate ones. And a lot of contestants use very good intonation in their words, and it will add confidence, power, and even draw attention of the audience, which is very important. Now, one of the judges, Gabriela, said, you can slow down a little bit to pause so as to let audience understand what you're saying and follow. Give them time to think and give them time to digest. Do you want them to agree or to think about your suggestions? And a touch of humor is also good to lighten up the speech. Even though the topics are very serious, but it doesn't mean that you cannot present it in a light-hearted way, like what one of the contestants did, and it caused some laughter among the audience, which is very good. Who said that humor cannot go hand in hand with a serious topic? So maybe this is something you can think about it in mind. It's just like a dessert with a cup of espresso. I don't like espresso, which is bitter, but how about to eat it with a piece of dessert? It makes it taste better, right? And some of the contestants, you can see that they come here with a wireless mic, and some with a stand. Now, as far as I can tell, I would suggest all contestants next time, try not to put a stand before you and the audience, because it forms a barrier. You don't need that. Use the wireless mic. And also, in that case, you can walk a little bit around the stage. It's all yours. You don't have to stand here right away and then get very serious with your topic and then make your audience nervous. You understand? And the other thing is, as you walk a little bit and then what to say next, right? Because you're moving, you buy time to think about what to say next, and people won't notice. Instead of you keep saying here, like, what's next? So that will make a big difference as well. And also, when you answer questions, try to have eye contact with the question master and also with the audience. I know it's not easy for you to think on your feet because you don't know what the question is and you are nervous when you stand here. But try again. You can speak slower. Buy yourself time and then get your composer. And remember, you have to get connected with the judges, with the host master or the question master, and with the audience in order to get control of the whole platform. So these are my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Millie. So thank you all the judges for their valuable comments. I believe we all can't wait for the announcement of winners, right? So now let's welcome our honorable guests, including 中央人民政府驻澳门特别行政区联络办公室台湾事务部罗英春部长 Vice Minister of Taiwan Affairs Department, Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Macau Special Administrative Region, Mr. 罗英春中央人民政府驻澳门特别行政区联络办公室台湾事务部陈鹏龙处长 Director of Taiwan Affairs Department, Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Macau Special Administrative Region, Mr. 陳鵬龍中華青年進步協會張心華會長 President of Chinese Youth Advancement Association, Mr. Zhang Samhua 澳門演講專業協會陳曉霞理事長 Chief Director of Macau Speech Professional Association Miss Maggie Chen Hiu Ha 澳門專業演講協會常務副會長及全澳青年演講比賽2022工作坊導師梁嘉怡女士 Executive Vice President of Macau Speech Professional Association and Instructor of Workshop of Macau Youth English Speech Contest Miss Sandy Leung 全澳青年英語演講比賽2022工作坊導師何浩晶女士 Instructor of Workshop of Macau Youth English Speech Contest Miss Florence Ho 澳門國際英語演講會鍾美玲兩屆會長 Two-time President of Macau Toastmaster International Club Miss Millie Chong 澳門多元化發展促進會蘇嘉欣會長 President of Macau Association for the Advancement of Diversified Development Miss Kelly So 北京高校澳門學生聯合會余成俊財務副部長 Vice Treasurer General of Beijing College Macau Student Association Mr. Yu Seng Chun 天津高校澳門學生聯合會梁翠如理事長 Chief Director of Tianjin College Macau Student Association Miss 梁翠如上海高校澳門學生聯合會梁俊榮理事長 Chief Director of Association of Macau Students in Shanghai College Mr. 梁俊榮浙江高校澳門學生聯合會梁子軒理事長 Chief Director of Zhejiang Cantonese Student Association Mr. 梁志賢福建高校澳門學生聯合會程思俊副理事長 Vice Chief Director of Fujian University Macau Student Association Mr. Chen Si Jun 澳樂大專人士協會阮思琪及潘銘善副理事長 Vice Chief Director of Macau Humane Higher Education Graduates Association Miss 阮思琪 and Miss 潘銘善北京外國語大學澳門學生交流協會譚楚欣理事長 Vice Chief Supervisor of Beijing Foreign Studies University Macau Student Communication Association Miss Tam Cho Yan 澳門青年演講比賽2022活動統籌李月明女士 Program Director of Macau Youth English Speech Contest 2022 Miss Rico Lei Thank you all the guests for your support. In mid-July, we organized an online workshop for all our final contestants. This could not have happened without our two great instructors, Miss Sandy Leung and Miss Florence Ho. So now, we would like to invite Miss Rico Lei, our Program Director of Macau Youth English Speech Contest 2022, to present the certificates of appreciation to Miss Sandy and Miss Florence. So please be on stage. Thank you, Sandy and Florence. Please remain on the stage. Yes, remain on the stage. And Rico, please remain on the stage too. In fact, Sandy and Florence are also our judges of the preliminary round. Let's take this opportunity to present certificates of appreciation to our honorable judges of the first round. So besides Sandy and Florence, we also have Miss Maggie Chen Hiu Ha, the Chief Director of Macau Speech Professional Association. So we would like to welcome you to the stage. Yes, let's present the certificates. Okay, let's take a group photo. Thank you very much. Please be seated. So Rico, please remain on stage. Now we're going to present a certificate of appreciation to our honorable judges of the final round, including Miss Millie Chong, two-time president of Macau Toastmaster International Club, Ms. Miranda Gao, Visiting Instructor of English Language Center, University of Macau. Ms. Gabriella Zhang, English Language Lecturer of the School of Tourism Management, Macau Institute for Tourism Studies. Thank you very much for judging today. Please be seated. Thank you. And now we would like to invite our program director, Ms. Rico Lei, to present a keynote speech.
Okay. So, dear Vice Minister of Taiwan Affairs Department, Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Macau SAR, Mr. Luo Yingchun, dear Director of Taiwan Affairs Department, Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Macau SAR, Mr. Chen Penglong, dear Assistant of Taiwan Affairs Department, Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Macau SAR, Mr. Wang Xing, representatives of our co-organizers, honorable judges, teachers, contestants, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am Rico, the project director of Macau Youth English Speech Contest 2022. Now, I know you might be very tired, probably hungry, looking forward to leaving. So am I. So I'll better keep this remark brief. I'm glad to meet you all in person on this special day. And I'm so glad to be entitled to such a precious opportunity to give a speech to all of you on behalf of the organizing committee. Today marks the third year of Macau Youth English Speech Contest hosted by Chinese Youth Advanced Association. It is a great pleasure that we have got affirmation and sponsor from Macau Foundation. Only with this great support can we make a great leap in various aspects on the contest every year. I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to all of you who generously helped us make this event come together to become a success. Please allow me to say thank you to all the association and the representative guests who have come today. The honor goes to Macau Toastmaster International Club, Macau Speech Professional Association, Macau Association for the Advancement of Diversified Development, Macau Language Exchange and Culture Promotion Association, Beijing College Macau Students Association, Tianjin College Macau Students Association, Association of Macau Students in Shanghai College, Zhejiang Maccanis Students Association, Fujian University Macau Students Association, Macau Hubei Higher Education Graduations Association, and Beijing Foreign Studies University Macau Students Communication Association. We couldn't have achieved such a success without you. And I'd like to give special credit to the member of the organizing committee this year, who have made great efforts to make this contest in its best form. Thanks should go to our consultant, Janice Chirk, Lily Lee, and Marty C. Our project manager, Ellen Chan, Carmen Zheng, Coco Feng, and IC Yun. Please give them a round of applause. So, when I look back on my life, I have an extraordinary fortune to be engaged in this contest in different ways. I always think it is fate or destiny that has brought me here. I was a consultant in the first year, actually. and a member in the organizing committee in the second year, and this year, the project director. So observing this contest from different angles, I have to say, the contest has made significant progress in just 3 years. And inspired by the experience and comments from the last 2 years, we have made significant progress this year again. So some points are to be noted here. First, we have set up 2 categories this year, adding students category together with open category. So this allows more teenagers to join and experience the contest. Second, we have made the first round of our contest online. So this is a much more convenient approach for contestants who were occupied at the early summertime and were not being able to be in Macau. Third, we have organized a workshop before the final round of the contest. Our tutors, Sandy and Florence, are very professional and they are the previous awards winner. So they have prepared amazing and inspiring contents on prepared speech and impromptu speech. All of our contestants have benefited a lot from them. Last but not least, a calibration meeting was held with all the judges involved for more accurate and fairer evaluation of the speech. Thank you again for your time, effort, and contribution. The contest has attracted more than 100 contestants. And finally, we have our finalists from each category. All the contestants have given impressive speeches and shown us their incredible performance. In fact, I'm very impressed by all of the performance, and it takes me back to some years ago when I was a contestant. I was quite lost then, but I never regret joining the contest and met some friends that share the same mind. We hope that this contest means a lot of unforgettable memories and precious experience that allow you to go further in the future. The achievements of the contestants have convinced us that we have adhered to the aim of the contest, to tell the stories of Macau through English speech contest, to discover outstanding local English-speaking talents, to promote English language teaching and communication, as well as to enhance English proficiencies of Macau population. We are greatly honored to have you today, and we hope that we can make further improvements and progress in the future. I'd like to express my gratefulness for your coming again. Hope that all of us are inspired today, and thank you again.
Thank you, Rico. Thank you. Please be seated. Now let's invite our consultant of Macau Youth English Speech Contest 2022, Ms. Janice Check, to present certificate of appreciation to our co-organizers. Could we invite all our representatives of our co-organizers to be on the stage, including Ms. Millie Chong, Ms. Maggie Chen Hiu Ha, Ms. Kelly So, Mr. Yu Seng Chun, Ms. Leung Cho Yu, Mr. Leung Jun Wing, Mr. Leung Ji Hin, Mr. Chen Si Jun, Ms. Yun Si Kei, and Ms. Poon Meng Sin, and also Ms. Tam Chong Yen. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Thank you. All right, before announcing the winners of the award, we will first present certificates of merit to all our finalists. Let's welcome our honorable judge, Ms. Gabriella Zhang, to present the certificate of merit to the first 3 finalists. So please welcome Aragon Fong, Simone Ni, and Xiaoli Chai to the stage. Thank you. Please be seated. And thank you, Ms. Gabriella. Now let's invite Ms. Miranda Gao to present certificate of merit to Leung Yan Ting, Bo Yi Chen, and Billy. So please be on stage. Thank you very much, and please be seated. And thank you, Ms. Brenda. Now let's invite Ms. Millie Zhong to present certificates of merit to Nicole Yeung, Ivan Si, Ida Wong, and Cora Lau. Please be on stage. Thank you very much, and please be seated. Okay, thank you, Ms. Zhong. And now, the moment we all have been waiting for, the announcement of winners. Now please welcome our program director, Ms. Rico Lei, to the stage and present the award. Okay, the first award that we're going to present is the Best Popularity Award. The Best Popularity Award of Open Category of Macau Youth English Speech Contest 2022 goes to Simone Chen Xin Nong. Ms. Rico, please stay. Third place of Open Category of Macau Youth English Speech Contest 2022 goes to Billy Chen Hock Him. Congratulations, Millie. Please be seated. And thank you, Rico. Please be seated. Now please welcome the President of Chinese Youth Advancement Association, Mr. Zheng Samhua, to the stage and present the second place winner. Second place winner of open category of Macau Youth English Speech Contest 2022 is Mr. Ivan C. Sit Ho Yin. Congratulations, Ivan, and thank you, Mr. Zheng. Now please welcome Vice Minister of Taiwan Affairs Department, Liaison Office of the Central People's Government in the Macau Special Administrative Region, Mr. Luo Yingchen, to the stage and present the champion. Champion of open category of Macau Youth English Speech Contest 2022 is Ms. Leung Yan Teng, Leung Yan Teng. Congratulations. Congratulations, and thank you, Mr. Luo. Now let's invite everyone to take a group photo, so please be seated and keep a big smile. Okay, let's try to smile with our eyes. So I believe you can all see the fruits of our contestants. You did an amazing job. It's been a great success with the participation and dedication for all our participants, judges, guests, sponsors, and organizers. And ladies and gentlemen, we would like to have your opinion and feedback about the contest. So on the screen, there is a QR code. We invite you to take out your mobile phone and scan the QR code, give us some valuable feedback and comments. And of course, please don't forget your personal belongings before you leave. So thank you for your support and thank you for your participation. See you next year.
者、得獎參賽者嘅簽收可以嚟台側，麻煩晒，麻煩晒。